But when you park at USA Park Airport Parking, you'll discover an easier way. High Flying Jacko here, reminding you can score a $4 off coupon at usapark.net. It's the fastest way to fly.
Business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs. Get expert help working on your business. Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute in the College of Business is now accepting applications for the Jacksonville Small Business Executive Program. It's designed to assist you in thinking differently, to become more efficient in running your business. All at no cost. Classes meet once a month starting in February. Apply before January 15th at jmi.fsu.edu. jmi.fsu.edu.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here for Orange Environmental Services, the superstars at taking care of your pest control and your lawn. They mow our lawn, they treat our lawn, and they're the best in the business at pest control with Centricon Termite Protection. They are the superstars. I trust them. You should too. 272-3284. The superstars at taking care of your pest control and your lawn for Orange Environmental. Call them today at 272-3284.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
Is that honeydew list getting too long or repairs piling up? Call the Honeydew Service because they're ready to take on any repair, maintenance, or home improvement, all with a 1-year work warranty. Whether it's any home repair or a kitchen or bathroom remodel, no job is too big or small for Honeydew.
Hi, I'm David Spivey with the Honeydew Service. We are local, veteran-owned, and we want to tackle all your home repair needs. So call us today at 862-6882 or go to honeydewservice.net. This is Frank Frangie. When I need to send a floral arrangement, I go local and buy from Kuhn Flowers. This new year, resolve to buy local and send someone you love a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
The flagship station of the Jaguars, WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach, WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Well, the news that Dog fans and a lot of college football fans have been wanting is now here. Jake Fromm's NFL draft decision is in. The junior quarterback from the Dogs has announced that he will forego his senior season at Georgia and enter the 2020 NFL draft. During his 3 years on campus, Jake Fromm went 35-8 as a starter at Georgia. The Bulldogs are now left with rising fourth-year junior Stetson Bennett, rising redshirt freshman DeJuan Mathis, and true freshman quarterback Carson Beck from Mandarin High School as the current quarterbacks on the Bulldogs roster. The Bulldogs are also having to replace several offensive linemen, including 3 former starters going pro early. 62 degrees at 3:01. Your time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
Until I hear it from you.
Frank, Hayes, Lauren, and Gibby. The Frangie Show starts now on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. Glad you're along for the ride here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, Andrew Gibson, and Lauren Brooks along for the ride on this Wednesday installment of our little program here. Whoo, big news out there. And I'll get to, there's little news too, but big news out there. Let's get right to it. Let's not bury the lead. There's a lot of football fans around here, a lot of college football fans around here. You don't have to be a fan of a team in the state of Florida to be a big college fan. So I'm going to get right to the news. Actress Lori Loughlin has reportedly hired a prison expert to train her on how to survive behind bars, giving the impression that she's tough. Hayes, clear this up for me. Okay. Tell me why that's unnecessary, please.
Well, first off, it's the hottest story of all time.
It is, no
because Lori Loughlin, thinking of her in prison is, and then street savvy Lori Loughlin in prison.
That's not even fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's a total waste of money because Lori Loughlin is not going to prison. Because if it's a jury trial, which I would anticipate that it is, there is no chance on planet Earth that any jury will find Lori Loughlin guilty of this. She will be acquitted, and she will be able to go free, and I hope the judge apologizes to her and censors the prosecution for going after her in such a frivolous case.
Well, I'm going to take it a step further. Now that she's taken the karate classes, just in case, when she gets acquitted, she's going to whip that prosecutor's ass. That's what's going to happen. Just so you know what's happening here. I'm telling you the storyline, so there you go. Hey, Brooks, you all right?
I'm good.
Everything good? Gibby, you all right in there? Everything good? Good world?
Yeah, it's going well. I think you are too.
I am in a good mood. Jake Fromm coming out. I'll give Matt Hayes credit. I wasn't sure up until a week or two ago. I didn't think he was coming out. And then Matt Hayes said to us all along that he thought, yes, he's coming out. And so, and before it was vogue to think that. Remember, he had played so badly down the stretch.
Right.
And Hayes said, trust me, Frank, he's coming out. Well, then I guess the light went on for me when Todd McShay or Kuiper, one of them had.
Right, McShay.
He was the fourth guy. He was the fourth quarterback.
Even with Tua.
Including Tua. He was the fourth guy. And then I thought, well, wait a minute now. He's done about what you can do there, except breaking the 39-year streak of no national championships. But other than that, he's done about what you can do there. And I do think he'll be a good player. I'm going to get into that in just a bit. But now for Georgia, they lose 3 offensive linemen to the draft. A 4th offensive lineman, Cade Mays, is leaving. Did you see this story?
Yeah.
It's what
really
an
peculiar.
Odd story there.
Because he was their starting left tackle in the Sugar Bowl, right? When Andrew Thomas elected not to play.
And would have been the left tackle next year by all accounts, it would appear.
He played at every position on the line this year.
Yeah,
he was a 5-star. I mean, big-time player.
So interesting storyline. So we'll certainly talk about that.
You don't think Fromm left because all the offensive linemen were leaving, do you?
It ran through my mind. I certainly think everything is in play there. I mean, you know what? Sometimes you leave because it's time for you to leave. Other times you leave, it's just, I think it's in play. I think that I think it was time for him, and I think he would have left anyway. But that's one more reason. Yeah, I say this all the time. When coaches leave when coaches go from college to the NFL or the NBA, it's because they're chomping at the bit, but there's also a time to leave. I said this about Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan left when it was time for a rebuild. He was 17 and 18 the year before, 8 and 10 in the league. So he had always been chasing the NBA. So you always leave at the right time, and I certainly think for Jake Fromm, it's probably the right time. So, question Lauren just asked: if all those linemen are coming back, does he still come out?
It feels like he had gotten to the point where what was he going to be able to improve? Again, this isn't it's not like you can go from 6'2" to 6'6" in a year at this age. I think from a resume standpoint, there wasn't a whole lot else that Jake could do. He's got the production. The big box that a lot of evaluators really focus on with quarterbacks is they want to see a 3-year starter. Well, he's done that. I mean, his experience is a massive plus. And so he couldn't have really added to that strength. And, he's going to be the same build, which is always going to, hurt him potentially. We'll end up seeing, where he gets picked. But everything you hear is that, he's probably not a first-round pick, but probably somebody that could go in the second round. So I don't think he was going to improve his stock much by returning. I just thought he would return because he grew up a Georgia fan. They've gotten so close. And if he comes back, even despite the attrition on offense to the draft, they still, I would have picked, if Jake Fromm comes back with that defense, I'm picking Georgia to win the East. And look, if you win the East and you're in that game next year, I think Georgia has a good chance. I mean, to win that game, and then you have to figure if you're the SEC champion in the playoff with a chance to, do some damage. Obviously, they'd been behind Clemson and Ohio State, but that's why I thought that he might, because I really thought he had a chance to be an SEC icon, and I thought that might be too much for him to pass up on. And the fact that, again, I mean, Georgia is starving for a national title. And while he had 3 great years there, I think now, if you're a Georgia fan, there will always be a smidge of disappointment in this era. Because the first chapter of the Kirby Smart book is now written, because it was Jake Fromm's chapter. I mean, he's defined Kirby Smart's program since he got there, because he won the job right out of the gate. And, they go to the national title game, and then they're right back in the thick of it his sophomore year, and then this year, obviously, get knocked out in the SEC title game again. But to me, I think going forward, there will always be a little bit of disappointment when Georgia fans reflect back on this era, the Jake Fromm era, because they were so close. I mean, again, today's the 2-year anniversary of Alabama defeating Georgia for the national championship. Alabama had a 2nd and 26 from the Georgia 42 when Tua threw one of the best deep balls you'll ever see for a walk-off touchdown.
Right.
2nd and 26, true freshman quarterback who had basically not played all year, had been inserted into the game to start the third quarter. I mean, that's how close they came. And so I think it's devastating for Georgia. I don't know that Jake Fromm's making the right decision, because I think the chance to be a legend in this conference is something that can stay with you for the rest of your life. I don't know that Jake Fromm, 10 years from now, I don't know that we're talking about Jake Fromm is one of the best to ever play in this conference. Well, he'll always be one of the best to play at Georgia, but I think if he comes back and they win the national title, I mean, Jake Fromm's on the SEC Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, the only reason I thought he would come back is one thing you said, Frank. It's so great to be the big man on campus, especially in a college town that you would absolutely love and you're adored in, and that is Athens. But he obviously, received enough information that he's going to make a lot of money in the draft, and he wants to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. The other big news today?
Bigger than Lori Loughlin? Okay.
I think so.
I don't.
No chance.
I think so.
Okay.
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle are taking a step back from the royal family.
Well, that is big. Okay, it's not as big as Lori Loughlin.
What a complete imbecile.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but why would he do it on Lori Loughlin's day? I mean, how do you do that on what is he thinking?
I mean, that's the stupidest decision I've ever heard in my entire life. You were born into the royal family,
right?
And you're going to say, nah.
So you're saying what you're saying is if someone came along and gave me a Ferrari, this is the equivalent of giving it back?
About 100 Ferraris.
Well, then it's dumb because I'm not giving the Ferrari back. Okay, I'm a guy you got to simplify things for.
Right.
Okay? So I'm not giving it back. So there you go. Big news.
Now that we've identified who the stupidest man on the planet is, we can move on with our lives.
The second stupidest is that damn prosecutor that thinks he's sending Lori Loughlin up the river.
No chance.
That's not.
No chance she's found guilty.
I want to talk about a lot of things today. I want to get into the Tom Brady thing. Where's this going to end? Where's it going to land? Hayes makes a great point about Tampa Bay. Where do you want to see it land? I want to get into that. Monday Night Football, there could be a shakeup. Who, if you were in charge of ABC, ESPN, Disney, who would you put in there? Who would you pursue? We're going to get to that today. Who would you put in that? Now, Joe Test could be back and Booger could be back, but they're changing producers, so there's big talk that it could change.
I'll tell you right now, I would put in 2 mannequins over what's in there.
Yeah, and that seems to be the consensus too, Hayes. So we'll talk about that coming up today. Big win for Gator Hoops last night. I thought it was an interesting win because they won on a day without their A game. Blackshear barely played in the first half. Nothing. How many of those layups? How many of those and one possibilities didn't go in?
They were 0 for 9.
It was unbelievable.
It really was.
Every time I said go in and one, nope, 2 shots. Go in and one. So on a day, and South Carolina, who can't shoot free throws to save their life, made their first 10. Everything was going in, and the Gators found a way to win that game. So I thought that was good. So we'll talk about Gator basketball, FSU basketball on the hardwood tonight. We'll get into the NFL games coming up this weekend, a little bit about LSU and Clemson. We got a lot to do. I'm going to start with Jake Fromm and what's next. What's next is the NFL. But what happens with Georgia and what happens with Jake, and is Florida now the favorite in the East? Those are our topics after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Taking you from the line of scrimmage to the end zone. This is 1010XL.
Hey, if you want great barbecue, you want Bono's. Fast, friendly service, clean family restaurants, and the absolute best barbecue around. Man, I love Bono's. It's also the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there's 15 locations in town. No matter where you are, you're near a Bono's. That's a good thing in this town. It's the best barbecue there is here. Man, I love the ribs. I love that chicken, all dark meat. Man, it is so good, Brunswick stew, and it's so consistent. When you hear the word barbecue, think the name Bono's. The best barbecue in town is Bono's.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by Darley's Plumbing.
It was a good weekend for the Gators as 4-star wide receiver Xavier Henderson committed to Florida following in his brother CJ's footsteps, and the men's basketball team pulled off the biggest comeback in the history of the program. Henderson is 6'4", 185 pounds, and chose Florida over Clemson during the U.S. Army All-American game. The Gators trailed the Crimson Tide by 21 points in the first half, but won 104-98 in double overtime. Florida travels to South Carolina tomorrow night, tipping off at 7 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Ellen Darley with Darley's Plumbing. When you use Darley's for any plumbing work, you're getting the service, expertise, and reputation of the Darley's family name. We do it all, from leaky faucets and toilet repairs to whole house plumbing remodels, slab leaks, and sewer lines. At Darley's, our team is here to fix your plumbing issues right the first time. That's why we say Darley's is where quality counts. Visit us online at darleysplumbing.com.
That's what sleeping with a CPAP sounds like. If you can't use CPAP, imagine pressing a button and it sounding like this. That's sleeping with Inspire. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with one click of a remote. That's right, just a button. If you have sleep apnea, great sleep awaits at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
This is the Mangler. By now you've heard my commercial for Advanced Disposal on our need for CDL drivers. As a result, we've added some good drivers to our team. However, we still have some positions to fill. We're looking for CDL drivers in Northeast Florida, especially in Clay County, St. Johns County, and yes, Duval. Come be a starter on our team. Earn a solid wage and get full benefits. Head to our website, advanceddisposal.com/careers, and get signed up today. That's advanceddisposal.com/careers.
Equal opportunity employer.
Frank Frangie with big news about Center State Bank, Jacksonville's best bank. It's growing, with branches now in virtually every area of town. Center State now is on the south side of Beach and Hodges, in Orange Park, in San Marco, the west side in Ortega, Riverside, and Normandy Boulevard, and even 3 in St. Augustine. So many locations. And with the same great service, same great people, bankers you can trust. Bankers that I trust and have for the longest time. You want a great bank? Well, then you want Center State, the best bank around. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Share coffee and conversation with Big Bo.
And some dry white toast, please.
Breakfast with Baselli. Brought to you by Claude Nolan Cadillac and ClaudeNolanCadillac.com.
Anything you want here, we got it.
Monday morning on 1010XL.
My name is Janice. I'm a client of Brett Hastings. Brett is the most brilliant, diligent, hardworking attorney I have ever met. He is truly dedicated to his clients and fights for them to the very end. Brett fought hard to win a large personal injury lawsuit for me, They're the very best legal team I have ever met. I would hire them again in a heartbeat.
Learn more at justiceforjacksonville.com. Law offices of Brett Hastings, where the injured find justice.
Hi, folks. Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. I've told you for the longest time, if you need a new pool, it's Stanley Pools. Call them at 269-7277. New pools, remodeled pools, pavers, fire pits. They do it all, and they do an outstanding job. And they have done it in this town since 1988. It is a true family business, and they truly are the best in the business. I trust Stanley Pools. Call them today, 269-7277 for the best in the business, Stanley Pools.
I'm Lauren Brooks, and you won't find a better deal to keep your ride clean than Scrubble's flexible service car wash at the St. John's Town Center and in Fleming Island. Start in the tunnel wash and experience state-of-the-art equipment while enjoying a soapy light show. Our quality soaps and solutions keep your vehicle streak-free. Every 3-minute car wash package comes with self-serve vacuuming with lint-free towels and window cleaner and a free air freshener. Come visit Scrubbles at the St. John's Town Center or Fleming Island. And remember, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
When you owe the IRS or Florida sales tax and can't pay, contact J. David Tax Law. Voted best tax attorney by Folio Weekly Readers and an ultimate tax attorney by the Jacksonville Business Journal. Stop collection action and permanently resolve your tax problem. Peace of mind is only a click or call away. Call J. David Tax Law now for a no-cost consultation at 507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Online at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Public golf access with a private atmosphere. That's Hidden Hills Golf Club. The best time of the year to play golf is now. You'll love one of the most unique golfing experiences in North Florida. Book your tee time today at hiddenhillsgc.com, and we'll take good care of you.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1st and 10 from our 48. Dogs taking their time, trying to possess that football and eat up some clock. A little more than 10 minutes remain. Play fake Harrion, bootleg. Fromm sets up all day to throw. Downfield, he's got Gager! 28, 20, 10, 5, give him 6! Touchdown!
One of us here in the studio just
That was a great
headset
throw.
while listening.
Great headset throw there.
Who's that?
Gibby, what are you doing?
Oh.
Well, I would just say
He's kind of a Georgia guy. That's what he's doing.
I know what
It was a great play.
I know what all the Georgia fans can say to the Gator fans today. You know what that is?
What's that?
How do you spell Dan Mullen? 2 L's against Georgia.
Ah, I like that. I like
pretty
that.
good.
I like
He's
that.
probably actually got more than that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he lost to him at Mississippi
Yeah,
State.
yeah. I don't think he's gonna have the third L in his name though. Just saying. Good thing you spell it with 2. Hayes is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I guess if he lost the third one, they could say Daniel Mullen.
I guess
But
you
I'm
could.
just, why am I thinking like
Well, if he gets a third L,
Yeah.
get ready for a backlash, Dan.
That's right. There will be.
And he'll say, I'm going to the NFL. All right, so speaking of Jake Fromm, he decided to head to the NFL and skip his senior season at the University of Georgia. So what becomes of Georgia, well, obviously we know Carson Beck is in the running for quarterback, but they're also looking at other quarterbacks.
All we Florida people are having fun joking about this. Don't kid yourself. Hayes made the point a minute ago. Georgia's got a good team. They are great on defense. They'll have the best defense in the league. They'll have one of the better defenses in the country. They're very well coached. Kirby's going to bring in more 4s and 5s, and Georgia will be just fine. Is the backup Stetson Bennett? Is he still there? Is he the backup guy? He's still there.
He
right?
is, yeah.
I think he is.
So he'll go to spring. He and Beck, and they'll have some other guys on.
Juwan Mathis is the only other guy besides Beck.
Okay,
I
so
know they're looking at Jamie Newman.
the transfer from Wake Forest.
Right.
Okay, so, but don't we kid? But don't worry too much about Georgia. That thing's built. It's one of the best programs in America. They've got a lot of really good players. I don't think Georgia's shutting down the program. I think Georgia will be just fine. And I agree with what Hayes said. If Fromm was coming back, they'd be my pick to win the East. I probably will pick Florida now. I think right now Florida's my pick to win the East. But Georgia's so good on defense, and they've got it rolling. They play with that confidence. I mean, they're going to out-athlete just about everybody, maybe including Florida possibly. So yeah, don't worry too much about Georgia. I think Georgia's going to be just fine. But it does represent a changing of the guard, and that is – and that's when you see if you're a great coach. I said this about Billy Donovan when he got to Florida. Before long, 4 or 5 years, 3 or 4 years in, he was in that final game with Dupay and Mike Miller and Haslam and Brent Wright, and all the Kenyon Weeks, all those guys, Brett Nelson. And I said, okay, can he flip the roster and do it again? And it took a while, but then he went back with Horford and Noah and Humphrey and Green and Brewer and all those guys. Can Kirby now flip the significant guy? They're all gone now. I mean, all Chubb's gone, and I guess he never had Gurley, but Swift is now gone, and the receivers from last year are gone, and right. So it's now flipped. All the tight ends from last year's team. 2 years ago. Now it's all flipped. All the skill guys are different. So can you bring in the next quarterback and still be as good as you were in this era? Can you bring in the next set of wide receivers and running backs? But, yeah, I think Georgia's okay. I also think this, too, Lauren. I think Georgia plays with a chip on its shoulder now. It's been a while since Georgia has had to have a chip on its shoulder because Bob from the Macon Telegraph thinks Florida's going to finish ahead of them. And Joe from the Birmingham Post-Herald thinks Florida's going to – you know what I mean? It's been a while since Georgia hasn't been looking down at the rest of the East. And I'm still not sure they will be. I'll say it again. I don't automatically think Florida's going to be the pick of the East. But I would guess they will be now. I would guess they will be, only because they have a quarterback back that everybody knows. They also have a backup quarterback that everybody knows. So I think they will.
And
but
some key guys are returning.
Yeah, so Florida, both have a really good team. So my guess is Georgia will play with a chip on its shoulder some now. But, Hayes, I don't think Georgia's going anywhere. He has built that thing. He's built that roster. It's an all-world defense. There's a changing of the guard, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with their offense. But I think Georgia's team, the team is just fine.
The team is just fine because of the defense, but just fine might be
second,
9-3,
right?
And that's not going to feel as that's going to feel like a regression because of how good they've been with Jake Fromm in the lineup, and that's where I think they could be headed. I mean, to me, I think it's a no-brainer that I would pick Florida to win the East right now. Now, something could change between now and us having to cast that ballot where there's some unexpected attrition or something, but. I mean, Georgia has by far the best unit. When you compare Georgia and Florida, Georgia's defense is better than anything else that Florida does. But if you're ranking them, it's Georgia defense 1. It's probably Florida offense 2, Florida defense 3, Georgia offense 4. And I think the Georgia offense 4 could be a substantial gap between everything else. So I think Florida is just more balanced. So I think Florida would need to be the pick. The other thing, too, is, again, if we talk about schedule, Florida picks up Ole Miss. Georgia picks up Alabama. So that's a huge advantage for Florida when you're talking about it. But basically it comes down to who's going to win the game in Jacksonville. And if they were playing tomorrow with the roster that I see in front of me in Gainesville and in Athens, I think Florida would win.
And I don't necessarily think it always comes down to that because for the first time my gut tells me Tennessee will be in play here. I think Tennessee will be in play. I don't know if they'll be as good as either of those two teams, but they haven't even been in play with Florida, Georgia till now. I think they'll be, so we'll see. Here's what the Georgia offense is going to have to replace. The starting quarterback, Fromm, the top 2 tailbacks, DeAndre Swift and Brian Herrien, 4 starting offensive linemen, Cade Mays, Andrew Thomas, Isaiah Wilson, and Solomon Kinley from here in Sandalwood. 4 starting linemen. The second leading receiver in Lawrence Cager, hurt much of the year, but he still was.
Killed Florida.
Yeah, he absolutely did. The 5th best receiver, Tyler Simmons. The top 2 tight ends, Charlie Warner and Eli Wolf. So let me say it again. Top 2 running backs, top 2 tight ends, second best receiver, 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen, and your legendary quarterback. That's what you're replacing on. Count that up for a second. That's what you're replacing on offense.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, and luckily Kirby Smart is an excellent recruiter, and his staff are too. And so, they're bringing in really good guys, and Carson Beck certainly we expect to be really good there. But that is a lot on one side of the ball to have to replace. What did y'all make of these comments that Kirby Smart made after Georgia beat Baylor in the Sugar Bowl? There's a disease. To be honest with you, he was asked about the contributions from the underclassmen, Zamir White and George Pickens. To be honest with you, the future is only bright if those guys continue to work because there's a disease that creeps in at Georgia where kids believe they're better than they are and they read their own press clippings. My first reaction was, isn't that your job as a coach to make sure they don't read their own press clippings?
Yeah, I didn't hear it. You asked about that during the break. I hadn't seen that. That sounds like to me a coach trying to get his guys' attention. Saban does the same thing.
Speaking through the media.
Yeah. So talking to his team through the media. Saban is legendary for saying, you guys, what does he call them?
Oh, rat poison.
You rat, right. That's the Saban rat poison, I think is what it's the equivalent of that. Look, what they have at Georgia that is really in my mind, from afar, watching it on TV from 6 hours away, Georgia seems to have very good culture. I think Kirby Smart is really well liked. I don't know if you saw him at the Kentucky game last night, but they interviewed him. Marty Smith was there and interviewed him. He was really good, and he's a really good guy. He's a really good coach. He's an all-world recruiter. They've got culture. When you have culture, you can replenish pretty quickly. But yeah, their biggest problem is 7 hours away in Gainesville. That thing's coming. You can't. That freight train, that light you see is another train. It's not the end of the tunnel. So and that's what's happening, and it's really coming. That Florida train's really coming. So I think that's the biggest problem for Georgia. We'll see. It adds intrigue to the East. You agree with me when I think Tennessee will be in play?
As a pick to win the East, no.
No. In play, could beat either one of them.
Competitive.
Could get to 8 or 9 wins.
No.
You don't think so?
I think Tennessee loses to Florida and Georgia by combined 31 points.
Oh, see, they get blown out again.
Yeah. Now they may finish again. They may win 8 games. They may be a prettier result than what they had this year, where they had some hideous losses.
But they can't. You don't think they can hang with either one of them?
Not yet.
Yeah. I look. I don't think they're as good, but I think they hang around. What do you think?
I'm with Hayes. I think you have to build your trenches over time. It doesn't take, just the first couple of years. And that's where they got dominated by both Florida and Georgia in those losses. So not yet, but can they bounce back and not lose to FCS teams? Yes, I think that can be on the docket.
And all the talk is that Georgia now, with all the quarterbacks in the portal, pretty good place to go. If you're a quarterback and you're in the portal, okay, you got a chance to go play.
Well, ring chase, it's by far number one.
Ring chase, you got correct, because you have a great defense, a very good coach. It's a traditional program, and they need a quarterback. And again, Carson Beck from Jacksonville is going to be very good, very, very good player. I mean, he will be I'd be very surprised if he's not a really good college player. But it's still a true freshman going in there to play against Alabama and Florida and all the rest.
Jamie Newman from Wake Forest is considering Georgia, Maryland, Washington, Oregon, and Miami in Florida, not Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, and I would even think, that Georgia becomes destination 1 for a portal guy. Florida State's high on that list. There'll be some other schools, but I would think Georgia becomes destination, nationally speaking, destination number 1 for portal quarterback, so they can be selective. They can say, no, Jamie Newman, we're not taking you because we're taking Joe Blow, right?
Absolutely. I think Newman's probably going to be the top grad transfer quarterback when you look at what he was able to do at Wake. He's a dual threat guy. I think he ran for over 550 yards on the ground, threw it for, I want to say, about 2,400 in the touchdown passes in the mid-20s. And again, that's at Wake, so I think it gives you some belief. He's a big kid. He's like 6'4", 230, that he could come to Georgia and have some outstanding success because obviously he'll have a better team around him. It'll be interesting to see how a quarterback views it. I think quarterbacks will view Georgia very favorably, but do you like the system that they're running? There's a lot of talk that now Georgia has moved into that, top of the list of, this is a program that really needs to redefine what they're doing on offense. And, that's a complaint that we heard throughout the year from Georgia's fan base. And now seeing what LSU did, Georgia has sort of become that next team in line that everybody's sort of nudging, like, why aren't you running what everybody else is running? Did you see what Joe Burrow just did in Baton Rouge? And, Nick Saban's now into his 4th, 5th year, really running much different offense than he did when he built that dynasty. Georgia's still more stuck in that traditional offense, and that would be the only thing that might concern a prospective quarterback coming in. But look, I mean, the supporting cast maybe isn't as good. You worry about all the offensive line attrition, although they've recruited there very well. It really tells you what a loss that was when Sam Pittman went to Arkansas, that they lost all those guys early, and now they even have a player that would have absolutely started next year that's getting out of Athens. And Cade Mays, and now, they'll have White. So you'll have an outstanding running back. You'll have an outstanding receiver. I don't know what else they have with Pickens. I don't know what else they have at tight end. But I think scheme-wise, that's one thing that a player will look at. But I still think there's so many other positives about Georgia that I'd be surprised if they don't land Newman or a very highly touted grad transfer quarterback.
And to add insult to injury, if you're a Georgia fan and somehow, some way you find out that Jake Fromm decided to part ways with Georgia early just because he didn't get along with the offensive coordinator after you've been frustrated with James Coley all season long, I would be like, fire him and get a new guy in here tomorrow after you lost Jim Chaney to Tennessee.
Yeah, but I don't think that's it because Fromm's bigger than James Coley. He's bigger. He's big. He's a bigger part of Georgia football than James Coley. I don't think that was it. And final thought or two before we break. I think Jake Fromm's going to be a good pro. We talked about this yesterday. I got thinking about it. He looks and feels and comes off like Gardner Minshew. About the same height, about the same arm, gamer, tough nose, more athletic than you realized. He's very Gardner Minshew, okay? But that doesn't mean he won't be better or worse than Minshew. Just because your playing style's the same and you look the same and you look the same in a uniform, that doesn't mean you're going to be exactly the same. He may not be nearly as good as Gardner, or he might be Drew Brees. You really don't know. So I do think his big game experience.
He certainly played against better competition in college.
Played against great competition. I'm not even. This is just to compare him to Gardner. I'm just saying to compare him to what he's going to face in the league. He's played against great competition. He's played in the biggest games. He's played well in the biggest games.
Way more starts than Minshew.
Right, and he has some really. And when things matter, oh boy, has he been good. He's way more. I used to say this about Terry Bradshaw. People said Terry Bradshaw, because it was a different game then, he only threw 2 more touchdowns and interceptions, like 220 or 212 to 210 or something like that. So, and now guys today throw 4 and 5 times as much. But Terry, and I used to watch those Steeler games when I was a kid with my dad. I'll tell you what Terry Bradshaw did. On 3rd and 8, he was going to complete a 12-yard pass every time. The greatest of Terry Bradshaw wasn't all the Super Bowl MVPs where he threw for 300 yards. The greatest of Terry Bradshaw was 3rd and 8 against the Raiders, and he threw a 15-yard pass to Lynn Swann every time. That was what Jake Fromm was. Jake Fromm was the guy that when you needed it, he completed the pass. That right? I mean, that's all I remember.
Eli Wolf.
Yeah.
Sealed the deal here in Jacksonville.
So many of them we saw. That's a perfect example. Off his back foot, Wolf pretty covered.
Yep.
And he somehow got the ball in there. So I think he's going to be a good pro. I don't know where he goes in the draft. I think everyone's talking mid-second now, high to mid-second. But I think he'll be a good player. You're not so sure?
Well, I'm not. We talked about this yesterday in regards to the Jaguars. I wouldn't take him here.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Because you already have, to me, that kind of player in Minshew. So I would not take Jake Fromm here. But, if somebody takes him in the late first, second round portion of the draft, I'm not going to critique it. Because I think Jake Fromm absolutely can be cerebral enough to have an outstanding career. By the way, Georgia's SEC opener next year, September 19th at Alabama.
Gibby, thank you. Gibby corrected me, by the way. I apologize. Solomon Kinley is from Raines. He's from Raines High School, not Sandwood. I don't know why I said Sandwood. I'm going to keep it on football now. We'll get to some basketball, Gator basketball in a bit. Tom Brady's not going to be around. Where do you want to see him go? What's going to how does that change the whole culture of all of it, right? This is Babe Ruth. This is Babe Ruth leaving the Yankees. It really is. This is Michael Jordan leaving the Bulls. And the whole culture of that stuff changed when those things happen. What happens here? We'll discuss it. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Can't get enough Jaguar football?
Get ready for it.
Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and a cast of dozens.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Jaguars Today, 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL. Here's what's happening in Bulldog Country. The Georgia Bulldog Report. Brought to you by Culhane's Irish Pub on Atlantic Boulevard and in Tinseltown.
Former Raines Viking and Georgia starting left guard Solomon Kinley announced on Tuesday that he is leaving Athens early for the NFL. Kinley joins both of Georgia's starting tackles, Andrew Thomas and Isaiah Wilson, who are also turning pro early. The former Raines High School star was a 3-year starter at Georgia.
Calling all Georgia Bulldogs, Anya here from Culhane's Irish Pub in Atlantic Beach and the new location at Tinseltown. Hunker down every Saturday to watch your Georgia Bulldogs while enjoying authentic Irish cuisine and $5 pints from Ruby Beach Brewing. With over 24 beers on tap and dog specials all Saturday long, it's your Bulldog home at the beaches in Tinseltown this fall. Cohen's Irish Pub delivers 5-star class with 5-star staff. Visit CohensIrishPub.com. Go Dogs!
Brilliant!
You know the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center is the place to go for all of your home remodeling. But did you know that they are the only showroom in town with Karastan area rugs? Karastan has made high-quality rugs for 90 years, now offered at affordable prices. Karastan has so many options, even a Property Brothers line. Karastan rugs are perfect on hardwood, tile, or vinyl plank flooring. Plus, Karastan will get your brand new rug delivered quickly and directly to your home. Stop by the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center today on Southside Boulevard across from Tinseltown or head to floorsandkitchen.com.
Gentlemen, discover the new medical treatment that Viagra doesn't want you to know about. I'm Bradley I with Synergenics Elite Health, and we offer GainsWave. It's a simple 20-minute in-office procedure. GainsWave is non-invasive, and it restores the poor blood flow that causes ED. Stop popping pills and scheduling intimacy. Call 904-500-5500. Consultations are free. Mention this radio station for $150 off your first treatment. Call Synergenics Elite Health at 904-500-5500 to learn about the GainsWave ED treatment today.
Frank Frangie here telling you it's time to go. That's what the Nimnik folks say. It is time to go for all 2019 models. The new ones are going to be coming in. They've got to get those 2019 models off the lot. That means at Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassidy Park. It means at Nimnik Buick GMC, located at Phillips Highway, just off of I-295. They've got to clear the lot. So go right now to the best car dealerships in town because the 2019s have to go. That's Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Newsmakers, playmakers, and insiders from around the NFL join Jaguars Today. Roof It Right. Hot Seat. Listen to Mike and Tony every day for the latest scoops from Jacksonville and beyond. Roof It Right. Roof It Right so you can sleep at night.
There are certain things your vehicle doesn't like. Nails in the road, that person who dinged your door, and the icy mistress that is winter. Cold weather can do a number on your battery. So if it's feeling sluggish while starting, stop by Advanced Auto Parts. We'll test it for free. And if it needs to be replaced, we have batteries starting at just $79.99. Best part, installation is free. Think ahead. Think Advance. At Advanced Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. Free installation with purchase, most vehicles, most locations.
Got a clogged drain or a problem with your sewer? Dial 6951911. Don't tell me any guess, call Metro Router. Dial 6951911 or MetroRouter.com.
Nobody likes to have plumbing problems at their home or business, but if you do, call Metro Router. We provide fast same-day service with the right parts and equipment on hand to get you up and running. For all your plumbing and septic tank needs, call the best. Just pick up the phone and dial
6951911 or MetroRouter.com.
Hey folks, been thinking about getting your carpets cleaned? Call Zero Res, the #1 rated carpet cleaner in town. Call us to get your carpets, tile and grout, area rugs, and furniture cleaned. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Having the right homeowner's insurance coverage means you're protecting your most valuable possession. To learn more, go to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
If you live in the Avondale area, make it a point to order your next floral arrangement from Catalea, a division of Kuhn Flower. This is Frank Frangie, and when you shop local, you're supporting your local business. Catalea in Avondale. I highly recommend it.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
It's a Kitchen and Flooring Design Center Wednesday on The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Welcome back to the program. Glad you're along for the ride with us on a Wednesday. Brought to you by our friends at the Kitchen and Flooring Design Center, who we will see tomorrow.
That's
Looking
right.
forward to seeing that.
Hayes, have you ever seen Frank's closet? I know that's a weird question.
I have not.
Okay, well, next time you're over at his house,
Yeah,
I
I could go to Frank's house
Yeah.
300 more times.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not seeing the closet.
Probably what we, in a moment like this, we probably need to expound on the question just a bit.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, you've had your closets completely redone by the Kitchen and Flooring
Yeah,
Design Center, and you showed me those closets when I was over recently, and I was blown away. I expected them to have those like wire organizers and be really organized, but not like that incredible. But they have wood cabinets, and they're absolutely gorgeous and super organized.
You saw the Taj Mahal closet.
Yes.
That would be my wife's. Okay. The Taj Mahal. Okay. Mine's like, my closet is like the servant chambers of closets. And so ours are across the hall from each other.
But in case you ever want to
beautiful.
get your closet redone,
But
Frank show you.
Yeah, they do. But
it sounds magnificent.
Well, what really does happen is, and I'm not every time a girl comes over, or one of our friends' wives, Suzanne wants to show them the closet. So Suzanne says, make sure Lauren sees our closet.
Mm-hmm.
Just like she does every other Gwen and Bernadette and Janet and Wendy and all of our friends.
The ones who do the dishes.
That's right. That's right.
The women.
I'm sure Nikki saw the closet.
And I'm sure she did. So let's show them the closet. So but because Suzanne does the work in the house and I'm kind of the slacker, I know that's shocking. I'm like the tour guide. So I'm like the closet tour guide, right?
Right.
So
they are really
So that's
beautiful.
what you got looking forward to, Hayes.
That's
Next
pretty
time you
sweet.
come down. But the Kitchen Floor Design Center, the truth is, to Lauren's point, they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good at everything they do. And the closets are beautiful. And, really, they really, really are. And my wife is very proud of hers. And mine's a little smaller, but they do a wonderful job in both of them. In fact, mine is kind of funky shaped.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't deter them at all. They build these custom cabinets to fit in, so they do a wonderful job.
I bet they're just as nice as Tom Brady's and Giselle's.
Here's my question. With Tom Brady out, and I'll get to what happens with him in a minute, who's the next dynasty? Or do we have – we've had – the one thing about the NFL has given you great dynasties. The NFL gave you the Packers in the 60s, the Steelers in the 70s, the 49ers in the 80s, the Cowboys in the 90s, and the Patriots really ever since. But that's no other sport gives you that many. The NBA gave you the Celtics, Lakers, and the Bulls for a while, right? Baseball gives you the Yankees and back in the day the Dodgers, and someone gets hot here or there. The Braves, certainly, they didn't win championships, but they were certainly very good. But the NFL is going to give you a dynasty.
We got one, Frank.
Yeah, you do have one. But the NFL is going to give you a dynasty. Baltimore's the best team right now with a really young, really good quarterback and a very good coach. But my gut doesn't tell me they're a dynasty in the making. I don't know why I don't think that.
I think it could be the 49ers because Jimmy Garoppolo was so desired by Bill Belichick, and he knows exactly what he wants in a quarterback.
Yeah.
And obviously they have a great defense built around him, too.
And a really good coach.
And a really good coach. So
Yeah,
I would go out to the West Coast.
It could be, you know what? That's a good call. It could be the 49ers. That's a really good call. I'm always going to lean toward – I said always, but I lean toward the Seahawks. I just think he is on the cusp of great, great greatness. Although – for 1 year, he got passed by Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go ahead and say Seahawks.
They have a mini dynasty, I'd say.
They kind of did.
They've just been in the shadow of the
They needed to win that one more game.
Yeah.
They needed to hand the ball to damn Marshawn Lynch is what they needed to do. That's what they needed to do. Who's the next dynasty? Is there one?
The next dynasty is whoever gets Trevor Lawrence.
Well,
that will be the next dynasty.
Okay, I hear you. Good call. Good call. It almost doesn't matter, does it? Because everybody's well coached in this day and age.
And you need a player that can make
$35
million and still lead you to championships.
Yeah.
And this is obviously projecting, but I can't imagine he won't be everything that we think he will be. So I think Trevor Lawrence will be considerably better than Mahomes, than Russell Wilson, than Lamar Jackson. Any player that you can think of today. Trevor Lawrence will be substantially better than them, and he will be substantially better than them quickly.
Yeah, now I'm not there yet. I think he's going to be a very good pro. But when Brady became better than everybody in the league but Manning, and then better than everybody in the league, even including Manning, that took a while. I'm not ready. That Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Russ Wilson, those are some good players now. There's a good crop of young quarterbacks who are really good players. Luck obviously would have led the charge if he had not gotten hurt. So there's a good group of those guys. Garoppolo, your point about the 49ers is a good one because they're kind of built.
Yeah, it might take a while for whatever team
Yeah.
gets Trevor Lawrence because obviously they're going to have major roster holes around him because that's how they either went 0-16, 1-15.
But we
That
saw
could
it
be
with
the
the
jump.
Colts. I mean, the Colts had the year where they had the 2-14. They draft Luck number 1, and then they go to the playoffs his rookie year. I think that's what you will see.
Yeah, but Lauren made a good point though. That was the unusual circumstance of a very good proven franchise had a miserable year at the right time. They weren't a miserable franchise. They were a pretty good franchise that got miserable at the perfect time.
They got miserable at the perfect time, but that was a bad roster
Yeah,
without Peyton Manning.
No question.
Peyton Manning made everybody better.
Yeah, no question.
And
but
so
I would agree with that, but they knew what they were doing. That was one that you get the hunch that there's a chance that whoever gets hit, Trevor Lawrence, doesn't know what they're doing because that's, to your point, Lawrence, why they got him. But we'll see. It's a good call. And the 49ers are a good call. I'll take the Seahawks. The Ravens might get there. The Ravens just strike, and this is not a knock on Lamar Jackson, but because he plays a different style, Patrick Mahomes plays the way you expect NFL players to play. So does Russell Wilson. Because so much of what Lamar Jackson does is as a runner, we've never had a quarterback who running was that important to his style of play that stood the test of time. That doesn't mean he won't. I love the guy. Who doesn't love the guy? The way he handles himself, what a good player he is.
And he's getting better at passing, so you'd think...
there's nothing wrong with him as a passer.
He's made huge strides from last year to this year.
Question.
So you'd think that as time goes on and the game slows down for him, he starts to use his legs less.
Yeah, and you're right. And you're right. That's a good point. He may, if he passes more, he may run less. But I still get the sense he's always going to run a lot. Why not? He's a really good runner. I mean, like he's better than most of the running backs in terms of making people miss. So, but it'll be interesting to see.
Which is what makes that game fun, Ravens-Titans, because it's a clash of the two of the best running teams in all of the NFL on Sunday.
What about Brady? You think you had a great call on this, Hayes. The Bucs. I haven't heard anything connected. I've never heard nothing to connect him to the Bucs other than it would seem to fit. Good team, pass-minded coach, 2 great receivers, plus pretty good tight end. 2 actually pretty good tight ends. Cameron Brate's a pretty good player. Mm-hmm. It would make a lot of sense. My gut tells me he's not going there only because I haven't read it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I haven't read the connection. He is from California. And by the way, he holds California near and dear to his heart. I mean, he's not just from there. He holds California the way we would hold Jacksonville to our heart if we were playing. We had a job in Cincinnati, right? So I kind of see the Chargers make sense on a lot of fronts. The more and more you read, they're not bringing Rivers back, which is, I think, a travesty. But you do read that, whether it's true or not. I'm trying to think where else he could go. I'm trying to think of teams that are really good but are quarterback away. The Bears are that, but I don't see that. Do you?
No,
I don't see that.
And I think that's a tough place to go when you're getting older. I don't know that you want to go to a place in the elements.
Yeah, that's right.
I think
he's been there, done that.
Yeah. I think you'd prefer to, get in a dome or get to Florida or maybe get to LA, something like that, where you're not Chicago. It's not just, I know he's certainly played in bad weather in Foxborough, but Chicago's can be a little bit different of an animal in terms of the wind and, you worry about his arm and things like, I don't know. Chicago would surprise me.
Me too.
He said he has a lot to prove in that Instagram post. Are you convinced that's playing football? A lot to prove?
Oh, no doubt in my mind. Yeah. For me, yes. He doesn't have anything else to prove, So I mean, he's never given the indication that he wants to be a broadcaster, an actor. I don't sense that from him. Nothing we've ever read about him. I think it's playing more football. I think what he wants. What I took out of that, Lauren, I think he wants to prove he can do it without Belichick. He can do it without the Patriot logo and the brand. That's what I think. Say what you want about how well he played when he got to Denver. Peyton Manning did win a Super Bowl with the second team. Brady's never done that. So don't you think that's in there somewhere in this list, in this bucket list of things he still has left? And it's probably not a very big list. Wouldn't you think that's one?
I would. And I think it's the more that you read about it, the more it seems like the Patriots and Brady really do have a lot to patch up. they talk about the incentives that he wasn't able to hit and that he feels burned by the fact that the Patriots put those incentives into his deal. And so that's money he's not going to get. Particularly, they haven't surrounded him with a lot of talent at the receiver. They've got Edelman and really not a whole lot else. And, I think you can see it. I still think he plays for New England next year just because I really do think Kraft is not going to allow it to happen. I think Kraft will ultimately give him whatever he wants. I think he will overrule Belichick. And Belichick may or may not even, may not have to be convinced. But I mean, I think the further Belichick gets into it, the more Belichick's going to realize, look, if we go from Brady to Stidham, I mean, there's going to be a substantial drop off. I don't know that Bill Belichick's ready to have like a 7-9.
Right.
I'm not even sure he's ready to have like a 9-7 where you don't make the playoffs.
So he'd rather have 0-16 than 7-9.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that would be the ultimate, is for them to tank and go winless and get Trevor Lawrence.
I don't see Tom Brady in Las Vegas. That ran through my mind. Playing with Gruden ran through my mind. Denver ran through my mind. Okay, Drew Lock doesn't have to play tomorrow. He's going to be around a while, and who better for him to learn from? So Denver ran through my mind. The Raiders ran through my mind. The Chargers are the ones everybody sees. I'm trying to think if there's an NFC team. You mentioned the Bucs. If there's one that makes some sense, there's not many that make sense.
Carolina.
I thought about Carolina.
He'd have to believe in Rule.
He seems bigger than Charlotte, though.
He does.
He just seems too big for Charlotte.
That's kind of
nobody's too big for Vegas, but he seems too big for Charlotte.
Well, and that's sort of the argument against Tampa Bay. It's like, yeah, I know they've won a Super Bowl, but for the most part, Tampa Bay, since they've been in the league, they've been a joke.
Yes.
And it's hard to. I think it might be hard for Brady to get that, kind of beyond that perception of it. But on paper, I think that's by far the best place for him to be if he feels like he can mesh with what Arians likes to do. But I would imagine that they could. Again, you look at the receivers, you look at the tight ends, and again, Tampa Bay's in a position where they could devote their ample salary cap space to building up the offensive line, getting him the kind of things that he likes, a possession receiver in the slot, a running back that can catch the ball. They can utilize their first two picks on lineman for him or something to help him, and they can sort of use the argument of, look, come here, we'll give you everything, we'll let you want to play general manager, come here and play quarterback, and you can play general manager with our free agency and our draft picks.
And I think I'm opposite both of you. I want him to go play somewhere else. I want to see Tom Brady lead a different team and just see what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't ever want to see those guys end up somewhere else. That's just me. But it's a terribly intriguing story, so there's good either way. We'll see what winds up happening. Let's break. When we come back, let's talk Gator basketball. Good win for the Gators. Are they on a roll now? We'll talk about it after this.
The Frangie Show, live from the law offices of Brett Hastings' studio on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, you want to have a great date night, prime rib dinner, and a wonderful show? Well, how about 2 tickets to Love Letters at Alhambra? Look, it costs just $89. That's a great deal. $89 for 2 tickets. You're not going to beat that night out. You're not going to beat that price. Score some points. Don't miss the opportunity. Be the hero and take your loved one to see Love Letters. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. It really is. How about that prime rib dinner? How about dessert with carrot cake and buttercream frosting or warm pear cobbler? You get it. It's really, really good. You want to have a great night out? Well, then you want Alhambra. 641-1212 is the number to call. Or you can log on to alhambrajacks.com. Have a great night out. Go see Love Letters and do it at Alhambra, right there on Beach Boulevard. Easy to get to, right off of I-295. You want a great night out? You want the best night out? Head out tonight to Alhambra.
1010XL congratulates Jacksonville's favorite son, Tony Vaselli, for his nomination as a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
He is a Hall of Fame player in my mind. If I get in one day, it's this year, it'll be a huge honor. We'll see how it works out.
Peace of mind. It's one of the most important things we can have, and sometimes the most elusive. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anna John Levine. Car accidents can turn your life upside down. Your car is damaged, you're in pain, injuries can even create problems at work. While there's no magic wand, our team is ready to get you back on your feet as soon as possible. Call the law offices of Anna John Levine at 904-600-4000 for a consultation. That's 904-600-4000.
Office in Jacksonville.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call the plumber in Jax. Roland Reich Plumbing.
As we start the new year, all of us at Diamonds Direct just want to say thank you. 2019 exceeded all of our expectations as so many people here became not just our customers, but our family. We thank you for your support, your confidence, your trust, and as we enter 2020, we reaffirm our commitment to you to provide an unparalleled shopping experience with an even larger selection, even better value, stronger warranties, but most importantly, an even stronger resolve to exceed your expectations. Diamonds Direct, the only jewelry store in America with a 60-year history in the diamond industry.